Guys, I'm here to talk to you about our Patreon. Patreon.com/shades-and-sketch. We've got all kind of great content for you there you won't find in normal episodes. You can join and support the show for as little as $1 a month. At $5, you unlock all kind of exclusive content like episode voting, Patreon-only episodes, and exclusive artwork. On to this week's episode.
Oh, hello. This is Sketch.
And I'm Shades.
And this is Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch. Welcome back, longtime listeners.
Glad to be here.
Yes, glad to be here this week for what promises to be a
very big episode.
Yeah. You could say it's all been leading up to this.
10 years in the making.
Yeah. Guys, every time you join us in our GOCO, our Geeking Out Command Outpost, in a different corner of the Geeking Out multiverse. Shades, where are we?
This week, Sketch, GOCO has traversed time, space, brought us right back to the present. Well, I guess 5 years from now, actually.
Yeah.
It's slightly
the near future.
The near future. And
on this beautiful coastal town. It's gorgeous.
Magnificent. New Asgard.
New Asgard, yeah. And so here we are. We're chilling in New Asgard. We're on the couch. We met some new friends. Introduce yourself, guys.
I'm Kolg. He's Meek.
Yeah, and we're just here. We're chowing on some za.
Playing some Fortnite.
Huh? And just enjoying this life.
Throwing back some brews.
Yeah. So if we are in New Asgard, playing Fortnite.
Throwing back some brews.
Yeah. Chowing on some za.
We must be talking about
Avengers Endgame.
Longtime listeners, let's just at the top of this episode right here. If you haven't seen Endgame, highly recommend it.
Yep.
But stop now because this is going to be a spoiler-full episode.
And
we're going to ruin some stuff.
And we have purposefully scheduled this to come out to give you guys enough time
after
to
Endgame
see it in theaters. And if you haven't seen it in theaters and you still can,
go do it.
Yeah. Go do it. Boy, do we have a theme song this week, though?
Do we?
I'm trying to think how the Avengers theme song goes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. So, guys, obviously, I mean, this is a big one. We gave you the spoiler warning before the theme song this week. But, yes, we are going to spoil the bejeebers.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Marvel.
Should we just rip that Band-Aid off right now?
Endgame and all 21 movies leading up to Marvel Endgame, possibly.
In my case, 20, because I've still never seen Thor Dark World.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't need to now.
You don't need to?
Thanks to Jolly Big Thor.
This movie had a nice synopsis for you. So it knew.
Nobody had seen it.
It knew that it needed to explain what had happened.
Just
so
if you're still unclear, if you've seen the movie and you're still unclear, the Reality Stone was only featured in Thor Dark World, which I think most people did not see.
I saw it.
Well, yeah, you're not most people.
I am not most people.
You are the one true geek to rule them all.
I am a completionist.
You are.
I must. They were like my Infinity Stones that I had to collect.
Yeah.
21 Infinity Stones.
So there was an extended Thor Dark World reprise in the movie to give you everything you needed to know about that installment, because it seems like it was actually pretty important.
It was
well done.
Wildly important. I mean, they hung one of the 6 Infinity Stones solely on the shoulders of that movie.
One movie, and nobody saw it.
Yeah. I feel
it almost killed the Thor franchise. I mean, it did for all intents and purposes.
I feel like maybe the full plan wasn't completely cemented yet.
Yeah, I agree.
When they gave that movie the responsibility of explaining a whole Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
The Tesseract had like 8 movies.
It really did. It keeps popping up all over the place.
And the Reality Stone got one after school special, basically. But guys, that is okay.
Because they fixed it.
Shades, do you have any history on? I mean,
the first movie Iron Man came out in 2008.
yep.
There were 20 other movies in between. Infinity War came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
Endgame ends phase 3 and the story to date of the MCU.
Yeah.
So phase 4 is essentially going to be a soft reboot. We're going to start over essentially with B and C tier characters, or characters who have been supporting characters who are going to move into
A leading role.
A leading role now, moving the next generation of heroes, if you will.
The next generation. That'd be the good name for something.
It would, yeah. We should trademark, copyright
should
that.
Use that. Yeah, yeah.
Never been done before.
No, I don't think
Avengers, the next generation.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Coin it.
ANG.
Right now.
Trademark, copyright, Shades, 2019.
Oh, I think M. Night Shyamalan already trademarked that with Ong. ANG.
No comment.
Oh, boy. So, Shades, what is your history with Marvel's Avengers Endgame?
My personal history. I saw it last night. I hadn't really been anticipating it, or not anticipating, looking forward to it based on the last 5 Marvel offerings. What were the last 5? Black Panther.
Well, let's go chronologically backwards.
Okay.
Captain Marvel.
Yep. Infinity War. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, and Black Panther.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp. The last 5.
Oh, yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
So I did not have a good time at the last 5 offerings.
Yeah.
I felt wholly betrayed by Infinity War. And I'll get into that in a little bit. And when we talk about rants, because I do have a protracted rant about Infinity War.
Yeah, guys.
This isn't the Infinity War movie.
If you haven't heard our Infinity War episode,
go take a listen to that.
You can listen to it if you want, but you could. All you need to know is that
we did not enjoy it.
We did not have a good reaction to it. I mean, we recorded that episode just like we're recording this one
immediately
the
after
morning
seeing
after
it.
Seeing it last night.
Yes.
So,
very different morning after
experiences. So my history with Endgame is that I also saw it last night. But unlike you, I was really getting pumped. These last couple of weeks.
I went in with no expectations whatsoever and no hope.
It's funny that you bring up the word hope because the word hope reminds me of Star Wars, and this was the most pre-Star Wars excitement I've had since probably Force Awakens.
Wow. Okay.
I had that just giddy excitement.
Sure.
And I was scared about that, but I
think rightfully so.
But I told myself,
franchise has been.
I told myself, forget it. Forget the hesitation. Just enjoy, even if you'd end up not liking the movie, enjoy this feeling right now of geeking out. You're just so excited to see it. And then I saw it, and spoilers.
You loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. It's 3 hours long. Did you feel?
Oh no.
Like it was 3 hours long?
It was so quick.
I never once thought to myself,
oh man,
boy, this is dragging.
Yeah.
I also, which surprises me, never had to go to the bathroom.
It
was a big concern. Now, I basically dehydrated myself for the day to make sure I didn't have to go.
I had 5 cups of coffee before we went and see it.
But I never...
Nah, the bladders were on board.
Yeah.
They were we are
bladders were
not
on board.
Missing this.
I felt like, what's her name? Tilda?
Tilda Swinton?
Yeah, she had smacked my consciousness
out of
my body. I wasn't even aware of my body.
The ancient.
Yep.
The ancient one.
And I was just strapped into that ride from start to finish.
Man, and just they found a way to work in
everything.
100 characters.
Truly.
In meaningful ways.
Truly, yeah, it was artfully done.
I have a big question about that.
Okay.
Because you paid more attention to the credits than I did.
Oh. Did I?
Yeah, because you commented on something in it.
Okay. Well, we're not at big questions yet, so save it.
Yep.
So, God, do we want to give a synopsis?
How do you? I don't know how you.
My guess is, longtime listeners, you've seen
the movie. So the movie picks up immediately after the events of Infinity War.
Yep.
After an initial confrontation with Thanos, we jump 5 years into the future to pick up the story and see how our characters are coping with
this world of loss and
hopelessness.
Some are doing better than others, but really no one's doing great.
No one is doing well.
And someone shows up. Well, it's in the trailers.
Yeah.
And we already said we'll spoil it.
Yep. Captain Marvel shows up.
Captain Marvel shows up. I was going to say Ant-Man shows up.
Oh, Ant-Man.
With a brilliant idea.
Ant-Man shows up with a brilliant idea.
To use the quantum zone to do time travel. And then...
Please tell me your entire understanding of time travel is not based on Back to the Future.
And then we get a time heist.
Time heist. Everybody loves a time heist.
And the Avengers have the bold plan to steal the Infinity Stones from history to undo Thanos' snap at the end of Infinity War.
Hey, Sketch, if you pick the right years, 3 of the Infinity Stones are in New York. At the same time.
I did love how they had that revelation.
Yes.
Like, oh shit, how dumb have we been?
Yeah. Yeah. I did love Slumber Party, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Hulk.
Slumber Party.
Just like vegging out, eating junk food.
Oh, yeah. Like coming up with
guys,
yeah.
If you pick the right year, 3 of the Infinity Stones are in New York.
And once collecting those, we have a big final showdown with Thanos and his entire army.
Yes.
Literally everyone's back, good and bad. And,
every single character from the MCU, with the exception
very few exceptions.
With the exception of Thunderbolt Ross.
Who's Thunderbolt Ross?
The general from the Incredible Hulk and Civil War.
How could I have forgotten that?
And Peggy Carter's niece, which was Steve Trevor's love interest from Civil War and Winter Soldier.
We also did not get basically anybody from Captain Marvel other than Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well, that movie hadn't been shot yet.
Yeah. But I'm just saying continuity-wise.
Continuity-wise.
Nobody story-wise.
Nobody from Captain Marvel.
None of Captain Marvel, so.
Yep.
And people were there. But it still pulls from 20 other movies.
I'm going to help you out right now, longtime listeners. That rando teenage boy at the end of the movie is the little kid from Iron Man 3, Harley.
We asked that immediately in the theater. Who was that boy? Shades had the brain blast. The kid from Iron Man 3, we looked it up, IMDb'd it. It was him.
It was, in fact, Harley.
He showed up.
Mr. J!
No, not that Harley.
Not that Harley.
No. But if that Harley was there.
Sketch. Batfleck showing up in the second act was a real surprise to me. Spoilers.
Didn't see that coming.
Nope.
That's why he quit the DCU, but he brought Batman with him.
Yes.
Bold move.
Bold
move. Those are some bat balls. So should we...
They had to digitally remove them in... Justice League.
Yes, they did have to digitally remove them along with that mustache. Somewhere on the editing room floor, there's a pair of bat testicles and a mustache.
Sketch, this is not
the bat testicle episode.
The Justice League episode.
So I guess, there's a lot to get into. So let's just go right into the all-important internet scores.
IMDb gives Avengers Endgame a 9.1.
Wow.
Rotten Tomatoes gives Avengers Endgame a 96%. Fan score, 92%.
Okay. Not surprised by either of those.
Yep. Metacritic.
Oh, boy. Fuck you, Metacritic.
78%.
Whoa, I was only joking when I said fuck you, Metacritic. Remember when you brought in,
because Rotten Tomatoes was just being wildly...
Do you regret that?
Do I regret bringing in Metacritic? No, because I get to say fuck you to someone.
Are you like like one of Billy Batson's old foster parents, just really regretting the decision to bring in this new child?
No, I get to beat up on Metacritic all the time now.
Okay, good.
96% of Google reviewers love Avengers Endgame.
Excellent.
And Shades.
Wait, before we get the Shades, now it has been, the accusations abound that you particularly, and me, but you particularly adamant DC fanboy.
I am. I'm
Okay.
a self-professed and correctly labeled
And so you have been
DC fanboy.
accused of coming down a little hard on Marvel movies. So, longtime listeners, I want you to remember that before he has a track record.
I do.
Shades of Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch. What do you give Marvel's, Avengers, Disney's Endgame?
Good job.
Thank you.
98%. I give it a 98.
Shit. No shit.
Sketch, what do you give Endgame?
I'm not even lying. Look, it's right here.
Oh, I didn't even
also
notice that.
gave 98 to
98%.
Endgame.
I have 2% rant.
I loved this movie. I'm going to say that one more time. I loved this movie.
I also loved this movie.
I was mid-movie when I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be giving this movie a very high score.
Yeah.
If you guys are unaware, we have recently released a Patreon episode ranking the entire
all 22
MCU.
movies.
And I had done my ranking before seeing Endgame, knowing I was going to have to squeeze Endgame in there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
During the movie, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This movie, this is rising through the ranks.
Right.
So, if you're interested in our full ranking, check out our
head over to our Patreon.
Episode. But, all right, let's do. There's obviously a lot of raves.
Well, so just before we get to that, how much?
Oh, God, not the money.
2 days. It's been out 2 days.
How much has it made already?
Yeah.
I mean, an ungodly amount. A Mad Titans worth amount.
Really? How much do you think it cost?
An ungodly amount of
Disney
money.
doesn't tell us how much these movies cost anymore. I'm going to say conservatively, this movie cost somewhere between $250 and $400 million.
Sure, it's all unfathomable to me.
Just with the cast alone.
This had to have been.
I feel confident in saying
far and away the most
probably
expensive.
Like $375 million.
Okay. How much?
I think.
How much did it make in 2 days?
In 2 days.
As of recording, it has been out. Well, I guess Thursday would have been
Thursday
the
night. Yeah.
Pre-screening. So 2 full days and a night.
Domestic box office gross $156.7 million.
Wow.
That's domestic.
Wow.
Worldwide, $643.7 million in 3 days.
Good. You know what? Good on them. Disney needed a win.
They did.
They've been scrounging for the pennies lately.
Well, this is going to cancel out all the money they lost with Solo.
I suppose. Ooh. Yeah, it really will.
Yeah. It's same thing when Disney bought Marvel and started making these movies after they put out John Connor. Remember that? Yeah. Remember that disaster?
Never saw it, but
I did. It was
debacle.
Actually it wasn't terrible.
Maybe it'd be an interesting episode someday.
It might. But yeah, basically Iron Man made back all of that money for them.
Yeah.
And so Endgame fixes their Star Wars debacles.
It really does.
Yep.
Let's.
I have 2% rant. You have 2% rant. Should we start with rants and get them out of the way so we can just geek out? Or do you or do you want to start with raves?
No. I'll do whatever you want to do.
Sure. My first rant, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
We've been promised a Captain Marvel, Thanos, beat down, slobber knocker. She's the most powerful.
Okay, back it up. Whoop, 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 whoop.
We've been promised.
Wait a minute. Back it up.
What?
Okay, in our Captain Marvel episode, I said the word cookie puss, and you were like, whoa. Slobber knocker?
Yeah, it's like a throwdown.
A slobber knocker?
Yep.
Okay, longtime listeners, if you've ever heard that phrase before, please tweet at me. I think you're
hurting for that one. It's like a big boxing wrestling thing.
I have never ever heard
prize fight
slobber knocker.
Beat down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very.
Longtime listeners, write in. Prove me right.
Yes.
At Go for Sketch and at Go for Shades.
Yeah. Do it, please.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
We were promised this
tussle.
Fight. Yes. Yeah. That Captain Marvel is the most powerful Avenger.
Yeah.
And that she was Thanos versus Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And Didn't happen.
We couldn't have Endgame without
having Captain Marvel
movie first.
Yes.
Infinity War basically happened because we hadn't had Captain Marvel yet.
Yes, that was the takeaway. And Captain Marvel was totally inconsequential to the movie. You could completely remove her from the movie, doesn't affect it whatsoever. So far, Captain Marvel, in my opinion, is 0 for 2, and I think she brought down the movie.
Okay.
In my opinion. She contributed nothing to the movie.
My assumption as to why it factors in so small of a percentage for you is probably also why I don't label it as a rant, in that I much preferred that she wasn't in the movie that much. One of my fears going into it was that
it was all going to hang on her.
It was all going to hang on her, and that she would get an undeserved role in defeating Thanos.
Sure.
And she really didn't.
Yep.
Thankfully, she really didn't.
I mean, she literally stops the second snap. Like, she does get that.
Yeah, no. She's as important as other team
Hulk
members.
Could have done that with a minor script tweak. You know what I mean?
She didn't do anything
that
other
any
than
other
fly through that ship that any other Avenger couldn't have done.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, and I told this to you last night as we were talking, that after her initial introduction and then she goes and flies off into space, I literally forgot she existed.
Yeah.
And when she has her big comeback at the very end,
what's that descending through the stratosphere?
And I didn't know. I didn't. When all the guns pointed up to the sky, I was like, "Oh, what's still out there?" She was completely gone.
Oh, I turned to you and said, you said, and it was like, "Oh, 2 guesses who that is."
Yeah, and she was gone. She had.
I had the opposite reaction.
She had been neuralized from my
I had
memory.
the opposite reaction, and I kept asking, "Where the fuck is Captain Marvel?"
And I
only because they made such a big deal of it.
Yeah, and I was able to just, maybe because her movie to me was so just middle of the road that it was very easy to forget her.
Sure.
Guys, I really feel like Mantis and Shuri had more presence in this movie.
Come on.
Don't you?
No.
When they come in through the portal and they have their big hero pose?
No.
Wow, really? No.
They tried to hang more of the movie on her.
But she left immediately.
Okoye, I'd agree with, featured more prominently than Captain Marvel.
But
at the end of the day, she's just a person with a staff.
Well, yes. Yeah. No, she is.
She was like commanding the ground
I think
forces.
you could tell she was leading Wakanda.
Yeah.
With everyone else gone.
Yep.
Which I guess means the Queen must have also been dusted.
Yeah.
We never got confirmation of that, but I guess having her being the leader, or at least the military leader.
Yeah.
But like, Captain Marvel just up and left.
Yeah.
She literally up and left.
I got 1,000 worlds to protect. When was that established?
That was never established.
You are not a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
She's
not a police force. She was escorting the Skrull to find their new home.
Right.
And
well, that was like 1996.
Yeah, and I'll give it that it could take some years. Like, I am willing to believe that she found Tony on her return trip home.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe that it took her 30 years to find a suitable place, establish them, and then come back.
Sure.
And find Tony on her way home. But we never got any idea that she was going to become the police force of the galaxy.
Quote, Rocket Raccoon. Oh, hey, what have you been doing other than getting a haircut?
Yeah. And then she puts him in his place by saying, I've been protecting 1,000 worlds.
Captain Marvel, they literally put her in the comic accurate costume finally at the end of Endgame, and that was the big thing for Captain Marvel.
And this is not a big question, but okay, I get that you're out there protecting 1,000 worlds. Okay, I'll buy that.
Sure.
But when the Avengers call you up and say, we think we have a last-ditch plan to reverse everything.
Right.
Wouldn't you, just like the rest of the Avengers,
assemble
and join? That being said, I'm glad you didn't, because it made the time heist that much better. If you had one overpowered character on any of those teams, it would have been Would have been nothing. Ooh,
Okay.
what if she had had to go to get the Soul Stone? What is she? She has no range of emotion. There's
No.
nothing she loves.
No.
Oh, boy.
Goose?
Oh, no. But Goose would land on his feet.
Yeah.
And he would be okay. Oh, boy. Okay, should I do a...
Yeah, you should do a rant.
I should do a rant. I'll start with a minor one. This is a minor one. With how wonderful they did at weaving everybody in, bringing back people, even people who have since died in the universe,
Right.
and we were able to see once again. I have to dock them at least a point for not bringing Coulson in.
Yeah.
He's been here since the beginning. His death, and I'm quoting here, death, assembled the first Avengers. He should have been somewhere. Somewhere.
I got that.
It's a tiny...
No Coulson.
It's a tiny little ding, but...
If everybody's back, how is Coulson not at the end of that movie?
Yeah. Yeah. If the kid from Iron Man 3 is there,
Right.
how is Coulson?
Coulson should be there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a minor ding,
Spoilers, he's filming season 6 and 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, well,
But still,
like bring him in for a day.
Yeah, he basically did a day on Captain Marvel. He could have done a day on Endgame.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. This is kind of... I will allow a summary challenge here if you say you can't do that. My second rant, and probably my biggest rant, is that the movie made Infinity War totally unnecessary. You could have structured...
Okay.
Not,
I'm
the only thing of consequence that happens in Infinity War is the snap. The entire there's like essentially there's 3 acts in Endgame and a prologue basically. You could have worked the snap into the prologue, and in a 3-hour movie, you could have made it 3.5 hours, or you could have made a half hour of the movie the snap. Everybody assembles. There's a snap. They that whole beginning of Endgame could have been... I'm sorry, the whole end of Infinity War could have been the beginning of Endgame and done one movie. Infinity War feels like a cheat to me.
Okay.
It feels like a money grab.
Well, we
and it was so poorly
said that
done.
after Infinity War,
Yeah.
that it was like there's no ending to this movie. This is
Right.
just
It's just a money
setting
grab.
up. Yeah.
And
Okay.
there was a way to either make Infinity War more of its own movie with more of a story and plot, or to give us... Did we really need Thor to explain Dark World 2 and him to go to spend that much time on Asgard, essentially in Thor Dark World? We probably could have taken that out of the movie, or shortened it. And there are things that they could have shortened and put the snap and that epic battle at the end, at the beginning of Endgame.
Okay.
That's just me as a consumer, like saying that movie was just a money grab. There was no script. There was essentially no story. Feel free to disagree with me.
Yeah, I will disagree. After a cup to wet my whistle there. I rewatched Infinity War right before seeing this. I enjoyed it more the second time because I knew the ending, and the disappointment of the ending last time was really what knocked it down so much for me. It still doesn't elevate it that much, but I was able to get past some things. This movie sits for so long, in a good way, in my opinion, in this era of despair that I think it was very smart, business-wise, to have the audience have to wait for a year, because we sat in that fictitious despair as well. And now, considering it's fictitious and obviously there's real-world stuff going on,
Sure.
It took longer for it to seep into us. It was the time before this movie that made us, I think, relate to the despair of the characters on screen. We got their 5-year jump and how shitty everything had been because we've also been worried and thinking and hypothesizing and trying to come up with ways that this could rectify itself.
No, I haven't.
If you...
I immediately, at the end of Infinity War, said, well, everybody's going to be back in the next movie. Everything's going to be fine. Thanos is going to lose.
Yeah, no, and I did too. And I had some assumptions on who was going to die. And less people died than I thought were going to.
I agree, yes.
But that being said, like, I don't know. There was something to... There's a lot of bad stuff on the internet. But there was something to, like, online communities of people talking about it, figuring it out. Like there was a camaraderie that I thought was interesting. That being said, if you'd put the first snap at the beginning of this movie,
the movie still works.
It still works, but I think it would have been too rushed. I think it would have been too many snaps.
Okay.
That's just, you have your take on it.
Sure.
That's my hot take on it.
That's fine.
That's my hot take.
So just to consolidate my rant, Endgame made Infinity War even worse than it already was. Okay. It is unpalatable for me at this point.
I'm trying to think if I now went back again and rewatched it, if it would. I mean,
just because the story is so paltry.
We'll get to it in raves when we get to raves. How I'll respond to that. I have two more rants here. My bigger rant was the Coulson thing. I thought of immediately after the movie. This rant happened in the movie, which really bothered me, because oh no, because I hate women. No, but when they had that stupid little scene where all the female Avengers come in at once to like stand behind or stand in front of Captain Marvel and run D for her.
Yeah, that is your pet peeve.
I was like, why?
Right.
Is it for the image? Is it just for the image? Because there was another image not far before that.
You can't fight them all off yourself.
Yeah.
I've got help.
She doesn't have to or something like that. And then it's every single female Avenger, which, okay, cool. But like that was framed just for that like girl power shot. And then
there was a better way to do it.
There was a better way to do it, like more organically than like everyone intuitively knew to drop everything.
Right.
No one helped Spider-Man, who's a kid. No one helped Clint, who's just a fucking human with a bow. But the most powerful being in the MCU gets the gauntlet, and all the women are like, we'll watch her.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there had to have been a more like organic way to bring this about.
Yes.
To just get that image.
Right.
That was the only part to me that I went,
pandering.
And it was just pandering. And it was nothing to do with the fact that they're all women. It was just that blatant, cheap fan service just in that single moment.
Yep.
And then they did do something cool. Now you're all together. Like, do like a really cool group move.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Then like Captain Marvel literally blew past everybody.
Every single one of them.
What?
Well, yeah.
And I'll have to rewatch it again, and I will gladly rewatch it again.
I will gladly rewatch Endgame.
But I could have sworn Wasp was in the van preparing the...
Yes.
But she shows up in that scene.
Yeah.
And then she's back in the van.
She's back in the van. It's
like
bad
she
editing.
said to Scott, like, one second.
Hold on.
My female sense is tingling. I need to get in the shot or something. And because she's like the last one to like, here I am. And then, okay, I got to get back to that because it's got to be ready for when you throw the gauntlet into it. Anyway, my other minor rant was just fucking Fortnite. Just fucking Fortnite. And I know here we are playing Fortnite with our pals, but...
Hey, Bull. Noob Guy 69 just being mean to me again.
He's such a dick. Noob Guy 69 is probably like 10 years old, you know? I just can't stand Fortnite. In my Egyptology job, it's all the kids I work with
just hanging out,
talk about.
Playing some Fortnite.
It's I've never played it, so I shouldn't pass that hard of judgment on it, but like...
I'm going to get on this ship.
I really feel like that bubble's going to pop soon, and then it's not going to age with this movie.
We talked about it online. It is also shameless pandering because Fortnite does a Thanos drop for these movies. Yeah. He showed up. They did the Infinity Gauntlet. They added it to the game when Infinity War came out, and then they did it again for for Endgame.
And this movie takes place 5 years in the future. I would be surprised if people are still playing video
Fortnite
games in 5 years.
If people are still playing video games.
Oh, sorry, not video games. Fortnite video game.
Specifically, yeah.
Especially when you look at all the great technology the world has in 5 years. Like those cars and shit that people are driving. Like, technology has advanced. Thor's still playing Fortnite.
Thor's still playing Fortnite.
Yeah. That's enough rants, though, because for each of us, it was just 2%.
It's just 2% rant. All right, let's get to raves.
All right, let us get to raves.
Can I start?
Raves for days.
Raves for days.
Yeah, this movie embodies what Geeking Out sought to do.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
A lot of times we come down hard on stuff, especially Marvel movies, but like this movie...
Well, only because they usually don't, or I shouldn't say usually. In recent history,
Marvel
they
movies,
have not delivered.
Recent Marvel movies have been middle of the road, kind of safe.
Yeah.
This movie
took a lot of chances.
Mm-hmm.
It I think successfully followed through with those chances that it took. It delivered a meaningful story. It was compelling. It was rewarding.
It finished a plot line it started many years ago.
Yes,
and has
a plot that at times I'm like, what?
Where's this going?
Where is this going?
You're worried that the ship is off course, but this
Age of Ultron. What the fuck?
This movie hit the destination.
Yeah. So my first rave is story. It's been a while. It was compelling. It was an emotional roller coaster.
It's very emotional.
You will laugh. You'll get a little misty-eyed. You'll shout. You'll cheer. You'll get angry. There's shock and awe. It's just a great movie.
Yeah.
It's not a great superhero movie. It's a great movie. It's shot beautifully. All of the effects are on point. It's just a great experience.
Well, one of the things I've been saying lately with some of our more recent Marvel viewings is that the range of emotion that it's instilling in me,
right,
very minimal.
Yeah,
from to
yeah.
This movie, real high highs,
a lot of clapping and cheering. It's been a while since I've been in a movie where people like
clapped and
cheer and clap.
And there were legitimately touching moments. A lot of reunions and fulfillments of promises. Yes. There were moments of sorrow and heartbreak. That's the benefit. I mean, finally, we're seeing it pay off.
Yeah.
We as consumers, are so invested in these characters.
Do you just want to take a minute and talk about some of the... We didn't write this down, just organically. So what some of the things that were like the big payoffs that they've been promising for years?
Sure. Let's talk about some of them.
Pepper Potts, the rescue suit.
Sure.
So Pepper's finally in her own armor, part of the fight, not just the love interest.
Yep.
Like meaningful contribution to the universe.
Yep. Great.
Hawkeye
had a great...
Finally. And I guess we should call him Ronin. This is his Ronin character.
Clint got a great movie.
Clint finally got a great movie. And those who are fans of Hawkeye, there's going to be a Hawkeye series on Disney Plus where he trains his protege, Kate Bishop.
Cool.
So Hawkeye 2 is going to be entering the MCU.
And he probably had the biggest journey throughout this movie. A lot of loss he went through over and over again in this movie, dealing with his grief with incredible anger.
There was a great Hawkeye movie in there.
And then
finally,
really, really clutch in the end. And he's just a guy with a
bow and arrow.
No one comes to help him.
Well, actually, in this movie, he was just a guy with a sword.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't shoot a lot of arrows in this movie. A couple here and there, but...
mainly the sword.
And he was...
great.
Absolutely great.
I so enjoyed it. And again, it's like one of those things like, I wish we had gotten this way back in Avengers.
Yeah.
And they tried in Ultron and just missed the mark.
Yeah. Ooh, good pun there.
Thank you.
Good pun. Yeah, this was a great movie for him. There was a lot of comedy with it, but I really appreciated Thor's journey in this movie.
We have finally set on, and there's a great line at the end. It's time for me to stop being who I'm supposed to be and be who I am.
Yep.
And it was
because his mother tells him that.
Yep. And that's true. That's who that character started that way in the first Thor movie, and then they tried to like make him in Thor. I didn't see The Dark World, but I certainly saw where Ragnarok started, and this idea of him being kingly and responsible, and that's just not who Thor is.
No. To be fair, at the end of Dark World, Odin tries to king him, the king of it, and he turns it down.
Yeah.
He does turn it down. So, but I mean, all of our characters are broken, and you see it clearly in everybody.
Yes.
But
Thor's really broken.
Is everybody has lost something. Absolutely. Thor has lost everything.
Yes.
Absolutely everything.
Yes.
And he is devolved into a big, chubby, funny guy. I mean, he's not funny himself, but he's funny to watch. And, it's obviously funny to see the sex god as just a big, chubby guy. And, but behind that is
real pain.
Trauma. Real grief and trauma. Yep. And, even the scene with his mom where he like breaks down to her. Well,
the setup of that is Thor kills Thanos.
Yeah.
In a fit of defenseless Thanos.
Yep.
Mercilessly.
Yeah. Basically, obviously because he thinks it's the right thing to do, but it's obviously also his medication, his way to make everything better for him, and it doesn't
makes
work.
Everything even worse.
Yeah, and especially because it doesn't fix him the way he thinks it's going to, and that just spirals him so much further down.
There's a great meme from when Thor is at the beginning of the movie, where he's just like basically in
like a sweatshirt. He looks like Eminem.
It looks like Eminem, but there's a great meme that says that is the 8 Mile.
Yeah. Yeah, but with Thor lyrics.
Yeah.
We'll try to find that. Put it on our Facebook. I've seen it too. So I really liked his journey, and I like where he ended too. Like you said,
I love where he ended.
Like how
as Guardians of the Galaxy.
As Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, but I'm in charge.
Of course.
Oh, of course you are.
Of course you are.
Okay,
but you keep changing.
But you
the
keep
map.
like saying it like you. Oh no. You're definitely in charge for now. What? Okay, stop adding that. And Captain America. We have to talk about the big payoff of Captain America.
Mjolnir.
Biggest cheer in the audience.
Yes, that was the moment that got the biggest cheer.
Yeah.
So Thor travels back to Thor Dark World. He gets Mjolnir back, and when he goes into battle, he has Stormbreaker and Mjolnir,
and he uses them both together like really cool.
Yes.
When he swings Stormbreaker and hits Mjolnir like a baseball
bat. That was fantastic.
I fucking loved that.
And then
Thanos has
Thanos is pressing Stormbreaker through Thor's armor.
Thanos is basically doing to Thor what Thor did at the end of Infinity War.
And Mjolnir
starts like shimmering a little bit, and you think it's going to go back to Thor. And then it hits. Oh, but it hits in the back.
It hits Thanos in the back of the head.
Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. It just flies, and then you get the moment of Steve Rogers like
grabbing it.
And Thor gets a little like,
I knew it. He says, I knew it.
Yeah. And then Steve gets to he's worthy of Mjolnir, and he gets to fight with Mjolnir for a while. Yep. I mean, that was a big moment.
It was. But then he had to take it back to Asgard.
He had to return it to its place in history. But it served its purpose.
It did.
Of pure geek outness.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Yeah. That was great.
Anyone else you want to talk about before we move on? I mean, there's the big one we have to talk about.
The big.
But before the big one, is there anyone else?
Black Widow.
Yeah, I was
we finally learn like her story.
Yeah.
Kind of
a little bit. It's fitting that we don't get too much from
because we're going to get a Black Widow prequel and really get her story, standalone movie finally. But we really get to see the emotional payoff of where she started from an assassin, which all happens off screen, to like Clint redeeming her, making her part of S.H.I.E.L.D. She becomes a hero and really carries the Avengers through those 5 years.
Yep. Yeah, when you watch, I mean,
it's
she's
all on
the one leading
the Avengers,
the whole kit and caboodle.
Yep.
And then her final act,
her sacrifice,
and the universe.
But I mean, They send
arguably for Clint too, because
Yes.
it could have been flipped.
Yes.
Could have been the opposite way. Really touching, emotional scene. A lot of back and forth.
No,
Like it wasn't a one and done. It was.
It wasn't.
Who's gonna be? Who's gonna be? Who's
right.
until we finally get it.
A fitting end for Black
Fitting
Widow.
end for her. Yeah, an assassin who ends by sacrificing herself
Choosing
for
and yes,
literally everyone.
choosing life.
Yeah.
An assassin who sacrifices themselves for the universe.
She was great. And ScarJo did
Great. Yeah.
Great job.
I mean, Black Widow has been an inconsequential character through a lot of
She
these
has
things.
been very inconsequential, but ScarJo has been consistently
Yes.
bringing it, no matter which movie, because she's never had her own.
No.
Not
Always
yet.
a supporting
she's always
character.
a supporting character, but she's always brought her own in all of it.
The first act and a half of the movie hung on Black Widow entirely.
Yeah.
Nothing else is possible without her sacrifice.
Yep.
So big props there. It was a good send off to the character.
So let's.
And
Who else do you?
Hulk.
Yeah, let's say Hulk.
The Hulk.
Let's say Hulk.
the
I was so happy.
I was so happy.
I was so fucking happy when
Hulk's
they
just
go to that little
He's
restaurant.
just a dude, bro.
He's just a nice
He's
guy.
just a nice guy.
And it's this.
You guys want a selfie?
It's this.
Let's take a selfie. Ant-Man, you got to get a selfie with it. He's Ant-Man. You got to get a selfie with Ant-Man.
He doesn't. They don't want a picture.
They don't want.
They don't want
nobody
a picture.
knows who
Just
Ant-Man
give him back the damn phone. This kid's shaking his head. He does
doesn't
not
want a
want it.
picture. That was great to finally see Banner and the Hulk
Together.
find balance
And it was depicted
wonderfully.
very perfectly. I mean, Thanos wanted perfect balance. There
Yep,
it is.
there it is.
In the Hulk.
Yep.
Yeah, when they go back in time,
When
it's
they-
like,
and the
smash some stuff on your way.
just to
It's
blend
like,
in.
Okay.
He's just kind of like
yeah.
tossing
Yeah. And
smash.
it's easy to look at that Hulk and go, well, what did Hulk bring to it? Because it's not that hulky. But like you see, other than the physical stature,
Yeah.
I mean, you see that
He's like the second smartest person on planet Earth.
yes, he's still incredibly smart. But I mean, in their relationship between Bruce
Oh,
Banner
sure,
and the
yeah.
Hulk, that the Hulk has obviously, because the Hulk has a more simplified brain. He is he's bringing Bruce to the people more.
Yes.
He's grounding him more in humanity.
Bruce is not, and so the Hulk's an extrovert.
Yep.
The Hulk just wants to be loved.
Yep.
And Bruce is like a science guy.
Yep.
He doesn't know how to relate to people.
And together,
They're- yeah.
unstoppable force.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to say this about so many of the characters, but Clutch
Yeah.
in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So much of this movie could not have happened
Without the Hulk.
without the Hulk
Yeah.
/ Bruce Banner.
Banner Hulk.
Banner Hulk. Bulk.
Bulk.
Ooh, from Power
there we
Rangers.
go.
There we
The
go.
Incredible Bulk.
The Incredible Bulk.
I like that. And I guess the
I guess that
last
brings us.
I would say just the character of growth and payoff. Falcon.
Oh, really?
Falcon
That's
gets the
not who I
mantle.
was going for, but yeah.
the
Falcon
mantle
gets the mantle.
of Captain
Now, he
America.
wasn't obviously in this movie much
Very long
to
ago, no.
show a lot of growth. He shows up at the end with everybody who gets snapped back.
Yep.
But yeah, the mantle has been passed on.
Passed to
That was a really nice scene between
two of them.
Steve and Sam. Steve had all the right answers.
He did.
For
Yep.
he's like,
Yep.
how does it feel? It feels like it's somebody else's.
Yep.
Well, it shouldn't, because it's yours.
It's yours.
Yeah. Like that was a really touching scene.
It really was.
I do question why in that last scene they
it
didn't
wasn't
give us a
Bucky.
Bucky. Like, I'm not saying give Bucky the shield and but like we didn't have a scene with like Steve and Bucky parting ways.
I feel like they did in the past. Because
Oh, that's very
Bucky,
likely.
they have their moment before he travels back in time.
Yeah, because
and
Bucky knows he's there.
Bucky already knows.
Bucky's the one who's like, hey,
Yep.
look over there. Yeah.
Bucky
I could see that.
says to him, he's like, "You're taking all the stupid." He's like, "Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone.
Yeah,
you're taking all the stupid with you."
Yeah, Bucky knew.
Bucky knew.
Bucky knew
He
what
already
was
had
about
his
to
moment
happen.
with Steve.
Yeah, that was a really touching moment. And Chris Evans did did great.
Killed it.
As Captain America from start to finish in this movie, but like as old man Steve Rogers,
he killed it.
I so believed it.
Yeah.
I so believed that was.
I have criticized Chris Evans as Captain America for a long time.
You almost said Captain America. So
that is America's ass.
Freudian. That was probably when I laughed the hardest in the movie. That is America's ass.
It's so great.
And I love that he's swearing in this movie.
Yes, yeah.
And I do love I really did like the elevator scene with the.
Yep.
No. You don't have to check with Fury.
Hail
Hydra. Oh,
that was such a nod to Captain Hydra.
To that, yeah. That was so good.
It was fantastic.
And it also shows how far Steve has come, because when Steve first started, he would even if he knew they were Hydra,
he would have just started punching.
Yes.
Yep.
So
punched them all out of the window.
And that's why I think, because that was one of the questions you asked was well, how come in Age of Ultron he couldn't pick him up? Couldn't pick up Mjolnir. Yeah, yet.
Yes.
It's because his character hadn't solidified yet. He needed to go through Civil War. And he needed to really understand exactly who he was.
Yep.
Not for somebody else.
Strong agree.
But who he was for himself. And then, so to end that way, it
was a fitting end.
And for him to have that end.
He got a happy ending.
If you were going to think of any of the character
got a happy ending.
Yeah, the character got a happy ending. If you were going to think of any character who was going to get to grow old and live out their life, you would never think Captain America. Because you'd first think, well, he's going to sacrifice himself to go out, obviously. Or then you'd think, but even if he gets to grow old, he'll never get to grow old with the
Peggy.
time he should be.
Or in But they did. They figured it out.
So he got it. He got it.
Yep.
He got it. In fact, I'm on board for a Falcon Captain America. I'm very on board for a Falcon Bucky
sketch,
like road trip.
Sign up for Disney Plus, because one of the series is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, really?
And I think they're going to have to change the name now to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think that was a tease because they didn't want to reveal that ending.
Because their back and forth in Civil War was like the best thing in Civil War.
So Captain America and the Winter Soldier is coming to Disney Plus.
So I'm all for that. I don't know if I want Disney Plus.
I can tell you right now, I'm not getting Disney Plus.
Yeah. God damn it.
It'll eventually be on Amazon.
We just need to snap and bring all of these streaming services together.
That would be my snap. Why is it a snap that that'll be a big question, I guess. I'll ask that.
I was thinking that this morning, too.
Why does it have to be a snap?
I guess there's so few things you can do with one hand. Like, you activate each of the... And guys, I'm doing it on my hand right now.
It makes great audio.
But you activate each of the gems by, like, clutching your hand. And I guess just thinking about what gem you want to use.
Yeah.
But the snap brings them all together, even though it's only using two fingers. I don't know. Maybe like a...
Maybe
one of these.
It's the time stone and the reality stone.
I don't remember what's the middle finger.
I think it's the reality stone.
Could be time and reality. Who knows?
Who cares?
Okay, so here's the biggest.
How do you snap with a metal glove? That's the better question.
Everyone figured it out. Every single person figured it out.
Long-time listeners, write into the show. How do you snap with a metal glove? Think about it.
The Middle Ages was ripe with snapping. Just battles.
Because the
battles sounded like a poetry jam.
The snap is not the two fingers sliding past each other.
No, it's your middle finger slapping against your
palm. Is the snap. Yeah. How do you snap with a metal glove on?
Yeah. Or at least, why does it still sound like a snap? Why does it sound like a snap? It should sound like a clang. Boom. Yeah. That's it. It shouldn't sound like anything. I give this movie a 30%.
It can't resonate. It can't resonate. Your skin is stopping the resonation.
Okay, we've been avoiding this. But
okay, we got to get back to
we've gone through all the main Avengers.
Yes.
Let's talk about Tony. Let's talk about Tony.
We've been wondering. We've been saying, how long can Robert Downey Jr. do this? And we have an answer. 10 years.
This was...
And I am, just longtime listeners, we didn't say this at the top of the episode, but I am wearing my contractually obligated Iron Man beard.
He 100% is.
I am.
Thank goodness this movie came out after Aquaman, because you could just trim down your Aquaman
exactly.
beard.
Yes, my Aquaman beard
the
was
opposite
trimmed.
way would have been
more difficult. Yeah. It was a hefty beard.
It was a hefty beard. Not as hefty as Fat Man Thor's beard.
I just love when he got his suit. His beard was perfectly braided, but he was still ginormous. He was still like a jolly.
I did
jolly
appreciate that he was still big.
Yes.
It would have been so big to me. It would have been a rant. If when he got his
just perfection,
back to perfection, I would have been pissed. So I'm glad he fought Fat because he still did great,
he
fought incredibly well.
Yay.
Okay, but Tony, back to Tony.
Tony, what a fitting end for this character.
How and the story. It all started with him.
Yep.
It all
ends with him.
It all ends with him. And
so, yeah,
what can you say?
The way they did it, it was perfect. So he asks, kind of going into the fight, it's not going so well, and he turns to Doctor Strange and said, however many he saw, Doctor Strange watched Endgame
4 million something times.
4 million times.
And said one of them they won.
And he turns to him and says, "Is this the one?
Yeah.
If I tell you, it won't be.
Yeah.
You won't. If I tell you, you won't do what needs to be done."
Yeah. But then Doctor Strange at the end does give him
Tony
he
all
holds
is
up
lost.
the one finger.
All is lost, and Tony looks at him and he holds up the one finger.
This is the one.
So the Infinity Gauntlet in this movie is an Iron Man glove.
Yes, Iron Man makes
they
a glove.
They forge a new. Yes, it's part of his armor
to hold the stolen times, the stolen Infinity Stones, and I mean, the writing on the wall was that Tony was going to have to do something big because the stipulation to get the time stone was you leave Tony Stark alive, which already is a giant gamble because the snap could take him away, unless Thanos was able to honor that and say, okay, everyone but Tony Stark. And I'm getting emotional just talking about it. I mean, to start the
Tony
so you start
finally
the movie
has a meaningful life. But you start the movie with Tony in space, and they have like hours left of oxygen.
Yes.
Captain Marvel finds them, and when he gets back to Earth,
he's broken.
He is broke. He's lost Peter. He's like traumatized.
He's blaming everybody, including himself.
Yep.
But he said, "Steve, I warned you.
Yep. I saw this.
And you said that if we fail, we'll fail together. And guess what? We did.
Yep.
And
great job.
And he gives up.
Yep.
And
I got nothing for you.
Super crazy relatable. I mean, we've all been there.
And he's like emaciated and broken.
Oh yeah, because he's been in space for 3 weeks.
Yep.
Just hanging out with Nebula. But then he makes the best of what they have. I mean, you have that montage of not even a montage, just a small scene of Steve Rogers talking to like that support group about like how we have to move on. And like Tony moves on.
He actually does it.
He starts a family with Piper. He has little Morgan.
Little Morgan. He has a daughter.
He has a good life.
Yep.
And so he's hesitant to get back into the fight, and I get that. I mean, Clint was hesitant to get back into the fight after he had his family, and I get that, but he can't leave it alone.
Nope.
If he can, he's gotta.
Yep.
But he comes back with a stipulation of we get everyone back, but we don't reverse what happens.
Yes.
We don't reverse these 5 years.
We get everything back that we lost. We keep what we
keep what we found. I can't lose what I found.
Yep.
And bless his heart.
Yep. He does it. He finds a way.
He does it. And to his credit, every Avenger is on board for that mission.
Yes. Yep.
No one is like, okay, Tony, but like in the back is like, well, we're obviously going to do whatever it takes.
Right. We don't undo the 5 years in between.
Yes. And
Thanos gets the glove and goes to snap. I am inevitable. And
snaps.
Tony snaps and nothing happens. And Tony turns his hand around and the gloves have the stones have migrated to his armor.
Because they're tussling. They're tussling over
armor.
He's trying to pull the glove off of Thanos. And obviously Thanos just bats him away.
Right.
And then goes to snap. Nothing happens. And then Tony just turns that hand. And they're all there.
I am inevitable.
Setting into it.
Really? I am
Iron Man.
Snap. Flash.
And his last mortal words.
Yep. I am Iron Man.
Immortal words.
Yep.
And think about where that character started. Think about how selfish that character was and how selfless he ended. And the funeral was
Waterworks.
A real tearjerker.
Waterworks. It starts with Tony's doing monologue about a happy ending, and you're like, oh, is this Tony from Beyond the Grave? And it's a message that he recorded to his daughter.
Yeah, because
sheer jerker.
He had a strong inkling.
Yep.
That, and I think when he knew, I think exactly when he knew that he was going to have to sacrifice himself for this.
When he figured out time travel.
No, I still think at that point he had hope that everything can go back. But when he could win and still go back to his family. But when he met his father, and his father said the words to him, this kid isn't even born yet, and I already know I would do anything for him.
Okay.
I think that's when Tony took it into his heart that I would do anything.
I'll agree with that.
For Morgan. And
I feel like he recorded the message to Morgan before he went back in time, though.
Yeah, but the message really was it was recorded in a way that wasn't like I'm going off to die. Yeah. It was more like there's a chance I'm not going to come back from this. And
tearjerker. Happy and Morgan.
Oh god. I mean, the whole
I'm going to buy you all the cheeseburgers you can eat.
Even the way, and the way Piper's last word, Pepper's last words to,
we're going to be okay.
You can rest now.
Yeah, you can rest.
Like, it wasn't like a, no, don't leave. It was Tony, it's okay. Like,
we're going to be okay.
I'm getting emotional just talking about this.
It was a great movie. It was just a great dramatic movie.
And the three main characters that had to say their goodbye did. You had War Machine show up and basically just gives them like a knowing nod, like a salute of like respect. And Peter shows up and is like, you did it. Like, you're my hero. You saved everybody. And then his wife is like, it's okay.
Yep.
You can go.
Well, you're getting a little teary-eyed.
I am.
You're getting a little misty. Makes for great audio.
And I don't know if it's now my family or what, but it was just well constructed.
It was well done. They all sold it.
They really did. They really, really effing did.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on from the characters.
Yeah, so that was...
All right, let's talk about the time heist.
Sure, time heist.
Time heist was fun.
And just to set this up, they use there's a discussion in which they go through basically every time heist movie ever, except Star Trek 4, which I was kind of curious about. They don't bring up Star Trek 4, which was actually a time heist. They have to steal whales from the past and bring them to the future. It was probably the most like Endgame, and they didn't mention it, but they just riff on and insult every time travel movie ever.
Well, they were basically just like you can't get your rules from movies.
It's like if you travel back to the past is now your future.
Yes.
And the present is now your past.
Stuff.
It is. It's not.
And spoilers for this episode of Geeking Out with Shades of Sketch. There are plenty of big questions to ask about.
There are time travel. There are a lot of big questions about it.
I am not going to because it's time travel.
It's not neat.
And it's messy.
It's very messy.
It's beyond
comprehension. I have a lot of big questions about events that happened in the past that
how do they go now? But
did not seem to affect the present.
But it was such a great. It was so smart. It was so smart for them because you explain Thor: Dark World to people who didn't see Thor: Dark World. Great way to do it.
Well done.
And at the same time, you give Thor closure and have him move on. Awesome, cool. Great. But then to bring us back to Avengers. And just like another bookend, okay, Tony started it all, obviously, but this whole thing with Thanos started at Avengers.
Yes.
And they did a great balance of a few very iconic scenes that they just flat out put in.
Yep.
And then the rest was just like new angles. On things going on. And them in the background.
Yes.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So well done.
I thought it was a bit of a gamble on their part, assuming, and they had no way to know without Doctor Strange there, but assuming that Doctor Strange was there in New York. And we know he wasn't because he wasn't Doctor Strange yet. But they really lucked out that
where's Doctor Strange? He's doing surgery
5 years too early.
30 minutes that way.
But I guess because the Ancient has the time stone, she knew it was coming, and so on and so forth. Great way to bring in the Ancient too, so that she got a
Tilda
scene.
Swinton could have a scene. Yeah.
But Time Heist was just
it was
fun.
so
it was
fun.
just fun.
It really was
in a very heavy movie.
Yep.
It was a fun turn of events.
It really was,
and very suspenseful at times. Very impactful, obviously. Yes. And I'll just boil it down again. A lot of fun.
And gave us back Loki.
2012
Loki is out there in the MCU. Somewhere.
Yep.
Spoilers, he's going to be appearing in a Loki series.
There you go. That was actually one of my big questions.
It's 2012 Loki is out there with the Tesseract.
Yep. So,
which is problematic.
Not for Loki.
For everybody else.
For everybody else, yes. For everybody else. So, I mean, that does open up the possibility that Thor will meet Loki again.
Yep.
But it will not be
the redeemed Loki.
Similar to Gamora.
Yes.
Who has
Peter no Quill. History with any of the Guardians.
Yeah. So I like Time Heist. And sometimes the time stuff can really put me off.
I have a big question about that.
It gets too messy, but
I'll save it.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Well, any other raves before we move on to
Yep.
Our big question?
Some Nebula and Nebula's journey.
Nebula had a great journey.
Just Nebula's you really feel for that character and where she's been and where she's going.
Yep.
And where she started in Guardians and where she ends up. Her story's not over in Endgame.
There are two characters I would have never have guessed would have been as big as they were.
Nebula was so important to the story.
And Hawkeye. And Hawkeye only because he's a mortal guy with a bow. Like, I just thought, he's not going to survive that long.
No way you're going to make it through this.
But he really did.
He was
and then
clutch.
Nebula was like...
equally clutch.
So clutch. And in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is introduced, you're like, well, this is going to be one of those villains that just keeps popping up, or like a nothing.
Yeah.
And nope.
No, yeah.
Clutch.
Yep. So
super
clutch.
Yep. Unfortunate turn of events that, like, her whole memory thing got all garbled together.
Not her fault.
Not her fault. Who could have known? Who could have known? But, and that's the poetic aspect of Thanos' great downfall is, like, his treatment of her directly led to his downfall.
To his death. Yeah.
It's great.
Perfect.
That's what happens. Bad parenting.
Actions have consequences.
Bad parenting. Your kid comes back, shoots the past self, and helps turn you to dust.
That is the takeaway.
That's the takeaway of this movie. All right, keep going if you got more raves. I tried to hit my big ones.
It just focused on the original Avengers. I think that was very smart.
It was very, very smart. Very, very smart. And the original Avengers got those I've said it to you so many times, those special credits at the end. It's so fitting, so wonderful.
That is their last. None of the original Avengers are coming back. Ever. Like, that is all of their last movies.
I mean, didn't you say Scarlett Johansson's getting a prequel?
She's getting a prequel, but they will not be in any future team-up movies.
Yeah, like Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a team-up movie slated for 2023. It has no title, and we don't even know if it's going to be the Avengers. It might be another team.
We don't even know who's on the teams.
Yeah. Because a lot of these characters are going to television series on Disney+.
Disney+.
Yeah.
I feel like we just got rid of Thanos, and now we have Disney+.
I know, right?
Oh boy. Every one of those original Avengers got a great ending.
Yeah.
Every single one of them got a great ending.
Yep.
And some of them could obviously show up in movies.
Yep.
As cameos, but no one's obligated to. There will never be a movie where I'm like, okay, why didn't Thor fly in? Why didn't Hulk come back? Like, I completely understand why they would. I really
hope we get Thor cameos just like hanging out, throwing back Bruce with Drax.
Just being a cool dude.
On the Milano.
Just being a cool
He doesn't need to fight. He doesn't need to do anything.
No.
He can just like put a prosthetic beard on him and just have him say something funny.
He's basically just like a space tourist now.
He's the Big Lebowski in space.
Yeah. Just
hanging out with his Buddha belly.
Everyone ended, whether it was a happy or a sad ending, everybody got a fitting ending for their character. Man. Endgame.
Endgame.
The game to end them all. I mean, there'll be more Marvel movies, but I mean...
Not for these characters.
Not for these characters. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm out of rants.
Okay,
I'm out of raves. That was my last rave.
Guys, honestly,
it's just so good.
The rave starts at minute 0, ends at truly the very end. Because if you're listening to this before seeing it,
shame on you.
That was dumb.
Poor decision.
But if you did, there is no end credit scene. Okay, fittingly.
There is an audio cue,
stinger.
Audio stinger. At the very, very end, when the Marvel Studios logo comes up, you hear someone forging something.
Yes. And at first, when I heard that, I go, ooh, someone's making a new Iron Man. And then, but what now I'm thinking is, oh, what a nice callback to Tony building the original suit, starting it all. That's what I'm landing on now, that it was more.
Well, there is a character called Iron Heart in the comics because Tony Stark is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so they might be doing an Ironheart cue.
I'm sure we'll get an Iron-esque
maybe
character.
Pepper's going to be the new Iron Man.
I'll tell you who should be. I'll tell you exactly who should be the next Iron-esque character.
Yeah.
Shuri.
You think so?
I think Shuri would be an amazing... Because she's...
Yeah.
Imagine an Iron Man with her intellect and her technological advances.
Sure.
I mean, she's already got the hand blasters.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
You know, it could be like the Iron Tiger or something, because aren't those like in tiger form, her little blasters?
Yeah.
I guess they're Panthers. I guess they're probably Panthers.
Yep. In the comics, she is the Black Panther for a little while, and because she doesn't have the heart-shaped herb, she stands in for T'Challa for a little while. She has a mech suit.
Cool.
So maybe
I would...
Maybe Iron Panther.
Yeah,
I'd be on board for that.
But I was just, it made me think that it was a callback just because, like, who's forging anything anymore in this universe? Everything's like nanobots and Wakanda technology and everything like that. Hammer against iron. That's like back in the cave.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah. So I just thought, like, oof. Yep. When I thought back on that, I was like, oh.
So yeah,
so nice. So nice.
If you didn't stay through the credits, there is that audio cue, audio stinger.
Stay for them the next time you see it, because you guys see it again. I'm going to see it again.
I have a funny feeling I'm going to see it again.
Yeah.
Does that bring us to big questions?
Guys, that brings us to...
BQs.
BQs. I wish we had like a song for BQs the way we do...
Recommendations. We'll come up with something.
We'll start with a BQ.
Long-time listeners.
Make something for us. We'll plug it in there.
We'll pepper it in.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Another little nod.
Thank you.
Marvel encompasses so much. Everything's a nod.
It really
Marvel
does.
At this point. Yeah. All right. You got a big question because mine, I only have one and it's a 3-parter.
Where do we go from here?
That is a big question.
An MCU without Iron Man, Steve Rogers, and the Black Widow.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah. And really, you can say Hulk, Thor.
The Hulk, Thor,
and
Hawkeye. Where do we go from here? Who is... I guess Captain Marvel is like the new flagship of the MCU. I just don't think they've set that up. I don't think it's particularly compelling.
I agree they haven't set that up.
I don't think it's a good decision, but we'll see. Where do we go from here, Sketch?
This will be the biggest change between Phase 1 and Phase 2, Phase 2 and Phase 3, Phase 3 and Phase 4. This is going to feel the most tonally different.
I guess Nick Fury's sticking around because he did not have a title card.
Yeah, I'm sure he's sticking around.
Did he? I don't think Samuel Jackson had one of those. I don't remember
seeing one. You mean like in the where everyone got a picture?
Yeah.
No, he did not.
He did not.
It was literally just the Avengers. I guess he's
sticking around.
This, moving forward, we've already been moving away from like, you remember that scene in Endgame where Tilda the Ancient is talking about like the timeline and how like it diverts? So Marvel has been, over the last couple of years, I would say slowly moving away from overlapping with our reality.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Especially when you start Black Panther.
Yeah, it's not...
Now we're really into like sci-fi fantasy.
Yep. It's not taking place in our world anymore.
And now...
You think it's going to go back to it?
No. I think we're way off it now. Now there's no returning to like a semblance of like our real world.
All future Marvel properties are taking place in like 2023 or 2024.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they...
So they're always going to be 5 years ahead of where we are. As long as they
come after, chronologically, story-wise, Endgame, they have to take place 5 years in the future. It would shock me if they tried to return back to, like, a based in reality, based in Earth
The universe that Iron Man steps into is not the Iron Man. Is not the universe that he died in.
And they say that a bit at the end of Endgame when they have the big thing at the end, where like if you told me 10 years ago that there were aliens and stuff, he's like, I probably would say it's probable, but I wouldn't. I would have never dreamed that we're where we are now. Yep. There's no going back.
No.
And Tony acknowledges that and wants that. We shouldn't go back. We keep what we found and move forward, as Steve Rogers would
agree.
say. So
I think I'm going to go get one of those lives that Tony said I should get.
So many good lines in that movie.
You want to tell me about her? I don't think I do.
Think I do. No. No. And
so good.
And did we need the scene of them dancing? No, because you got it, but I was happy we got it.
Yes.
For those two characters, that we got to witness the love. Well, you already answered my question about Loki. Is he alive somewhere?
Yep.
Yes,
Loki
he is.
2012 Loki is off traveling the cosmos.
Do you think Gamora survived the snap?
I do.
I also think so.
I do. Yep.
I mean, it's ambiguous purposefully so that we can probably get a Guardians 3.
Guardians 3,
I assume that will be
2021, I believe.
I assume that'll play heavily into that movie.
Yep. So the Gamora we have in this universe is a 2014 Gamora before the events of the first Guardians movie.
She's technically not a Guardian.
She's not. Nope.
It's taken right
she fights,
before she
and then
joins
she bounces.
The Guardians.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think she survived. How? I don't know.
I don't either.
Because Tony never met her. Wouldn't know to be like, save everyone. I mean, kill everyone except
Tony.
for
Yep,
Gamora.
Tony never met Gamora.
Yeah, they never crossed paths. It's certainly not long enough to know that
Nebula,
she's on the good side.
I'm sure, talked about her enough.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That gave Tony enough. And maybe the gauntlet just really, just knows what's best.
Friday knew what was going on.
Yep.
Is it your question or my question?
That was mine, so you got one.
How is Nebula alive?
This current Nebula?
So 2014 Nebula is killed by 2023
Nebula. Yep, she is.
So if you kill yourself in the past, the future version of yourself should
No, and
cease to exist.
And that's one of those
They're not
things
parallel realities.
That but see, this is where it gets messy because, then technically nothing should have happened because
Infinity
they
War
killed
shouldn't
Thanos
have
and everybody before that happened.
That's what I mean. The time travel, the time heist thing, they killed Thanos from Infinity War. They pulled him from 2014 and killed him. The events of Infinity War should have never happened.
I think what they were trying to get at in this movie when they're explaining the time travel, and I say, good job. You did it the best you could.
What you do in the past doesn't affect your present because it's technically your future.
Yes, because it's
but it wasn't
really
Thanos' future.
It's really linear.
Yeah.
There's really no going back. The second you
go back, it becomes the future.
Started a new offshoot.
Yeah.
It gets messy. It gets tangled. I do not want to see a pictograph of how this all works.
Yeah.
I just accept it.
It's very messy.
It's very messy. But time travel is messy. And Tony knew that going in.
Yes.
I when Tony was like, let me guess, he came back old.
Well, yeah. No, a baby.
A baby? Yeah.
Came back a baby. Yeah.
Somebody peed in my suit.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if it was old me or baby me or just me. Yeah, that's good. Can you please be careful of those pin particles? We only have enough for two to...
One
trip. Scott.
Oh, Scott.
All right, here's... do you have any more big questions?
Yes.
I only have one, so...
You want yours? Or do you want me to do mine? I just did one.
How many do you have left?
I have one.
Okay, I'll do mine. So you and I agreed that Steve Rogers, in his trip through time, brought Mjolnir back to that point.
Yes,
because I think that's the right thing to do.
Everything has to go back from where it was taken from.
So that leads me to my next two questions.
Yes,
and I'm not trying to be crass or anything. How did Steve Rogers reinsert the red Infinity Stone into Jane Foster?
Yeah, it's a great question.
It was extracted as a sludge.
Great question.
And now it's a solidified stone.
Yep.
Similar question. What exactly did Steve Rogers do with the Soul Stone? Where does that go?
Good question.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it enough for me to call it a rant? No, because I don't care. It's a mystery of Steve Rogers time travel.
How long is
adventure.
it going to take him? How long is it going to take him to do this? As long as it takes, but 5 seconds for us.
Yeah. Oh.
What? Okay.
Yeah. But
how does he get to that planet?
Yeah. Well, remember they did have like a little pocket-sized spaceship. Maybe they gave him a little pocket-sized spaceship.
No. They flew away on the Milano at the end.
No, but I'm not saying specifically the Milano. I'm saying maybe they gave him
spaceship.
Just another spaceship. Then they're like a Wakanda spaceship. You know?
I don't know.
Who knows?
That is a big question.
Because we also don't know.
How did he get the sludge back into Jane Foster?
How did he get the sludge? Because it wasn't sludge anymore. It was solidified. And where exactly do you return the Soul Stone to? Do you give it to Red Skull and just be like, here, someone else needs to kill themselves now to get this again? Or they would go to Red Skull and be like, can you just hold it? Yeah. Just hold it for the next person.
Yeah. It's a great question.
That's my last big question.
I have one last big question. Based on the storytelling and direction of Civil War and Infinity War, how much I did not like either of those movies and the way that they were written. Did the Russos have help writing and directing this movie? You saw the credits that there was a special thank you to James Gunn. He was
listed as an executive producer. Him and Stan Lee and one other person.
I mean, I have to ask, how much help did the Russos have crafting this movie? Because
I would say a good deal.
They're not the best writers.
I think they either.
And the Guardians were so much better in this movie than they were in Infinity War.
Yeah.
They did not understand how to write for
didn't understand
write or direct the Guardians.
So James Gunn being involved in this
clearly
helped.
I
will think it is likely that they did have direct help on the writing process. Less likely, but still possible, is that they just have been working on this one for much, much longer, gave it a lot more effort and time and really refined it more so. But I think it's more likely that they got help. I mean, this had to be done right.
Yeah.
Or this literally could have killed the MCU.
Yeah.
This could have turned off enough people if it was done poorly.
If it was another Infinity War.
Yeah.
And there are enough people like me out there.
Yeah. Thank God.
50. It's got to be 50%. Just snap us out of reality, I guess.
And there was a lot riding on this. You might not think there is because it's like, oh, it's Avengers. It's like
guaranteed hit.
And this one was always going to be a guaranteed hit.
Yeah.
And a guaranteed moneymaker. The future of the MCU, though, was in the balance. See what I did there?
Very
in the
nice.
balance.
Yep. Well done.
As all things should be. Is that what he says? Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Sure.
And then he's like, well, fuck that. You all messed it up, so I'm just going to kill everybody. And you know what? That's a Thanos I liked better. That Thanos.
Yes.
That Thanos who was like...
it wasn't personal, but what I'm about to do to your planet, I'm really going to enjoy. And just Captain America standing there alone with a broken shield.
That was a great visual. See, that was an earned visual. Captain America alone versus the...
Yes.
It made sense why he was there. It made sense why it was framed like that. And it was a beautiful visual.
Wow, what a payoff.
The other one that I already mentioned was like a... Okay, everyone, get in.
Pose,
everyone in here. Everyone in here.
This will be fun. We'll make a good poster.
Exactly. And it will.
It will make a
that's
poster.
A badass poster of some badass ladies.
Yep. But the better poster will be
the Steve Rogers
over
one.
the shoulder of Cap with a broken shield looking out at the Horde.
Well, I was going to say something about that. Oh, yeah, the Thanos thing. Like, I love the Thanos that looks at it and goes, okay, well, I did my balance thing, obviously, and it didn't work because people are always going to be left over who want things.
So now I'm just going
to wipe everything out and start from scratch.
Yep.
I was like, there you go.
That's the Thanos.
That's the Thanos. That's the villain I want in this.
That's the villain I was
Endgame.
Promised at the end of Avengers.
Yeah. And that I loved.
Yeah.
And
fucking Gardner Thanos.
I mean, and he snaps. He snaps and he erases 50% of life. And they even said like 50% of life. I was paying very close attention. 50% of life, but like because we're taxing too many resources.
Right.
But all of our resources are alive.
Yes.
He split our resources in half too.
Yeah.
Because one of the ways they know it worked is the birds are back.
The
birds are back.
Yeah, so I guess for 5 years there were no birds.
He decimated our food source.
Yeah.
Won't things be better now?
No.
We're in shambles, and now, there's half of us, but now we're fighting over the same proportionate amount
And
of
there's
resources.
no vegetables because you also snapped out half the bees.
Yes. Oh, Thanos, you weren't thinking.
Nope.
You deserve to be decapitated.
Really did.
That Thanos deserved to be
decapitated.
That Thanos deserved to be decapitated, and second Thanos deserved to be dusted.
Yeah.
They both got
They did.
the death that they deserved.
They did.
We'll end it on that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, both Thanoses got the ending
Yes.
that they deserved. Everyone in these movies got the
They did.
the endings they deserved.
Everybody got the ending they deserved.
Endgame.
End game.
Guys, go see.
This movie.
Now that we've told you.
Now that we have spoiled everything.
But you know what's crazy? There's so much in this movie we haven't.
We have not
There
talked
is
everything.
so much in this movie that it is impossible.
We barely talked about the actual time heist.
Yep.
The Cap and Iron Man road trip.
Nope.
We didn't talk about it at all.
It was a touching road trip.
It
though.
was. It was great.
really nice in the final movie to get their reconciliation, the trust.
You trust me?
Yeah.
I do.
You do? Yeah.
Yep.
That was great.
It was.
The handshake.
It was well done.
I wish Steve had given like a nod to Tony at the end as Tony was dying too, just to be like, hey.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, they had their time travel.
They did.
adventure.
They had their time travel. They were good.
Tony was barely hanging on. We couldn't have lined up everybody.
No.
They could have been like, girls, get in here. All together now.
Crowd in. Hulk, come on. Push in. Hold some people up. Climb on the Hulk.
And Hulk's good at a selfie, so he can be in front of everybody holding. Oh, wait, no, he handed it to.
Selfie.
He handed it to
He
Scott.
organizes it.
He organizes it great, though. So that's what he's going to be doing now that he's done. He's going to be working at Sears as a family photographer. I guess that brings us to Shades and Sketch Recommendations. Go see Endgame.
Yeah. Is that your rec?
No, I have a legitimate recommendation.
Why don't you go first?
I am going to recommend an anime that I mentioned in a previous midstream that I have officially finished and thus can recommend. It is called The Promised Neverland, and I have told you about it.
You have.
I was really impressed by this anime. It's very much a genre of anime that I don't typically watch. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a suspenseful thriller, kind of. Like virtually no comedy or action scenes or anything like that, but just a incredibly well-crafted story. Mm-hmm. Reminded me a lot of like the Marvel Universe on Netflix because like when I was watching those, I just always wanted to watch the next episode. Like it always ended on something that such grabbed my interest. And this series did the same thing. I don't want to give too much away on the premise because it does hang so heavily on these big reveals. Yeah. But I will say that it takes place in an orphanage. Okay. With young children. Everyone is under the age of 12. It focuses mainly on 3 of them, a girl and 2 boys who are very close friends. It's a very ideal life. It's everything you would want in an orphanage. It's very kind and loving. Like if you must grow up in an orphanage, it's the ideal. But these 3 children stumble upon a secret going on that threatens their lives and their futures, and everything is at stake for them to figure out a way to beat this impending threat. Cool. That is all I want to tell you because that's...
And what's it called again? Just
called The Promised Neverland. It's on Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll has a free membership. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. Highly recommended. It was recommended to me by a good anime friend of mine, and now I am recommending it to all of our longtime listeners.
Cool. I have previously, way back when, recommended The Orville, which I still enjoy. Season 2 just ended. I'm going to second my endorsement of that. But then also, I'm going to recommend Star Trek The Next Generation, because without Star Trek The Next Generation, there could be no Orville, and it just really made me nostalgic for that. So I went back and just binged a lot of The Next Generation, And man, just what a great show.
Yeah.
And just a universe that is not perpetuated on war and destruction and death. Just a show about exploration and the best the best of people.
Yeah, the best humans can be.
Yes, when we're not motivated by greed or avarice or power, and just do the right thing for the sake of it's the right thing to do, and a vision of a world in which we've eliminated wealth and poverty and struggle.
And want for any
necessity, in which what can happen when we do work together, and it's just great storytelling.
Yeah,
I really long for that. And just maybe you're a fan of Star Trek Discovery. It's a well-produced show, but it's not Star Trek. And it's just a great show.
The Orville is certainly a show right now, just like Star Trek Generation. The Next Generation that. The world needs a show like that.
It really does need a show like that. And Seth MacFarlane has created modern characters that are relatable, but still capture that vision that Gene Roddenberry had all those years ago.
Yep.
And I think maybe those next generation characters are not as relatable for people living in the 21st century, but the Orville characters are.
Yep.
So if you're a fan of the Orville, definitely go back and watch some Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's on both Netflix and Hulu right now, or you can, if you have Amazon Prime, you can also watch it on Prime.
And vice versa. If you are a fan of Star Trek: Next Generation,
give the Orville a shot.
You've bypassed the Orville because you thought it was going to be a silly farce.
It is great.
It is honoring.
It really is
honoring what you love
in a way that current Star Trek is not.
It is not. It has gone in a different direction.
It really has.
And the Orville is.
Keep holding it together.
On the path.
It is honoring the legacy.
And guys, let's just give you a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. These recommendations might be something we talk about soon.
In future episodes.
So I'm glad you recommended the Orville because I also just finished season 2.
High praise.
It just finished this week. I mean, it's basically the only show on television other than Game of Thrones that I am current on.
Yeah.
Watching as it comes out. Because it is just exceptional. And I want more and more people to watch because it needs to continue. It's a mid-season show.
Yeah. They only do 12 episodes a year.
Yeah.
So it's doable.
But great episodes. And Seth deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah. Executive producer.
Yeah.
The lead.
Yeah.
Or if you will. I don't know if there's really a lead, but he's
an ensemble show, but he's a central character. So
it's a vehicle for him to do the kind of work that he wants to do, but probably hasn't been able to do in live action.
And if you had told me years ago that this is what he was going to do, I would have slapped you across the face and said, not that silly, man.
Yes. It's just great.
It's just fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so guys, that's The Promised Neverland and The Orville.
The Orville.
Watch them.
Sketch, what are you going to take from this episode?
We have a mantle of badass weaponry, and we have a garage of vehicles,
we have
a menagerie of
disregarded pets, creatures.
I think, along with all of these weapons, up on the mantle, this autographed picture of America's ass is gonna just tie it all together.
Well done.
That is America's greatest weapon.
America's ass.
That is America's ass.
That was a great moment.
That was a great moment.
Very meta.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Good on Chris Evans.
How about you? What are you gonna take?
Well, I am. I'm gonna take this broken shield.
It'd be a good bottle opener, probably.
Yeah. A lot of uses for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. I hope you have your tetanus shot.
Does
vibranium rust?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it'll be good.
It'll be fine.
You know what? That would be a sweet mantelpiece, over the mantle, not on the physical mantle.
We'll hang it right over.
Yeah, that would be like a nice centerpiece.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll backlight it and everything.
Oh yeah,
because Endgame, man.
Yeah,
guys, did you think we were gonna love Endgame? Did you think?
I really did not. I went in with no expectations, ready to hate it.
I was ready to go, oh, I wish I wasn't so excited.
I was ready to just be like, guys,
what a miserable end to a 10-year investment.
Do you want to know? Here's a little insight into my mind now that I host this podcast with Shades. Do you want to know another thought I had during the movie?
What?
So we already know that I thought like, oh, I'm going to have to give this a high score. This is moving up my rankings. As I'm coming across all those revelations, I go, oh my God, how am I going to defend this to Shades? I really like this.
How are we going to continue to do this show afterwards?
And he's going to hate it. So when it ended and you went, well, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's better than everyone coming back to life. Like, whew. So guys,
thanks for potting with me, Sketch.
My pleasure. Thanks for going on this journey with me, because this has been fun. And guys, this is not our
end game.
We are continuing taking the GOCO across the
I'm just going to give a little. We are just a few episodes away from number 50.
That's a big milestone.
And we're planning something special.
We are. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed so you get alerted as it comes out and everything.
And head over to our Patreon if you'd like to get some exclusive Shades and Sketch content.
Yep.
As well as being able to participate in episode voting to choose future episodes of the show.
Yes.
And we have, I think if you've been listening regularly, we've been listening to what you want.
2019 has started off strong with listener recommendations.
Yeah.
Listener recommendations. Yeah. So, guys, we appreciate it because I've seen things that I would have missed if it weren't for the listeners.
Likewise.
Because there's so much out there. There's so much out there.
If you are a fan of the show, you can find it basically wherever podcasts are hosted. We're even on Stitcher Plus.
What is Stitcher? I'm so out of the loop. Is that a sewing machine?
It was an early platform for podcasts that was an alternative to Apple Podcasts.
But we're on both. Apple,
we're on everything.
Stitcher,
we're on
Google
Stitcher,
Play.
Castbox, Player FM. We're on everything.
Yeah.
Pippa, Blurberry.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
Perfect.
Whatever you listen to podcasts on, you can probably find us.
You're savvy.
Yeah.
You're listening currently. You found us.
You found us.
You found us. Good job. Good on you guys.
You can email us at gowithshadesandsketch.
You can find us on Facebook, of course. Just search Geeking Out.
We're at Shades and Sketch on Twitter, or if you want to talk directly to Sketch, you can tweet at him at GoForSketch.
Yeah, and remember, convince me that slobber knocker is like a real thing.
It's a real thing.
And if it's not, tell Shades. Go for Shades.
And of course, we've got our website. Shades and Sketch at Weebly.com.
Because I'm not brave enough to Google search that on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, our Patreon. We thank you so much for supporting the show, helping us keep the lights on in the GOCO. Patreon.com/Shades and Sketch. Sketch, should we head on out of here?
Here we go.